My friends, let me share with you one of the most misunderstood yet powerful principles I discovered during my 25 years of research into the minds of America's most successful individuals. It was during a conversation with Henry Ford in his Dearborn office that I first glimpsed the true nature of what I would later call sex transmutation. And I must tell you, the name itself has caused more confusion than perhaps any other principle in my entire philosophy. Ford leaned back in his chair, his eyes gleaming with that peculiar intensity I had witnessed in every truly successful person I interviewed, and he said something that would forever change my understanding of human achievement. Napoleon, he said, the same energy that drives a man to pursue a woman with relentless determination, that burning, consuming desire, that very same force, when properly channeled, can build empires. At first, I confess, I was taken aback. Here was one of the world's most powerful industrialists speaking to me about matters that seemed more appropriate for a philosopher's study than a business discussion. But as our conversation continued, and as I reflected upon the hundreds of interviews I had conducted with titans of industry, inventors, and leaders, I began to see a pattern so profound, so universal, that I knew I had stumbled upon one of the great secrets of human achievement. You see, my friend, what we call sex transmutation has absolutely nothing to do with suppression or denial of natural desires. Quite the contrary. It is about recognizing that the creative force within us, the very energy that perpetuates the human race, is the same energy that can be consciously directed toward any worthy goal or ambition. This discovery would prove to be the foundation upon which every great achievement in human history has been built, though few have understood its true nature or learned to apply it consciously and systematically. Thomas Edison confirmed this principle to me during one of our many discussions at his laboratory in Menlo Park. He spoke of the periods in his life when he would become so absorbed in his inventive work that he would forget to eat, forget to rest, driven by what he called a burning that consumed every fiber of my being. That burning, that consuming desire, it was the same creative energy that in its base form draws the sexes together, but in its transmuted form can illuminate the world with electric light. The more I studied this phenomenon, the more I realized that every individual who had achieved lasting success had discovered, either consciously or unconsciously, this secret of transmuting the most powerful force in human nature into creative expression. They had learned that the same energy which, when dissipated carelessly, leads to mediocrity and failure, when properly harnessed and directed, becomes the driving force behind extraordinary achievement. This understanding would form the cornerstone of everything I would later teach about success, for I came to realize that without this principle, all other success methods remain incomplete and relatively powerless. The foundation and discovery of the ultimate creative force. Before we delve deeper into this mysterious principle, let me establish for you the fundamental truth that governs all human accomplishment. Every great achievement begins with desire. Not mere wishing, not casual wanting, but burning, obsessing, all-consuming desire that admits no possibility of failure. But here lies the challenge that has puzzled humanity for centuries. How do we harness this most powerful of all human emotions and direct it toward productive ends? How do we take the energy that nature intended for one purpose and consciously redirect it toward the achievement of our definite major purpose? The answer, my friend, lies in understanding that creative energy is creative energy, regardless of how it manifests. Just as electricity can light a bulb, run a motor, or power a factory, the choice of application does not change the fundamental nature of the energy itself. The creative force within you operates according to the same principle. This realization came to me gradually, through years of careful observation and study, but when it finally crystallized in my mind, it explained so many mysteries about human achievement that had previously baffled me. During my interview with John D. Rockefeller, I witnessed something extraordinary. Here was a man who had built one of the most massive fortunes in human history, yet he spoke with passion about his work that reminded me more of a lover describing his beloved than a businessman discussing his enterprise. Napoleon, he told me, his voice carrying that peculiar intensity I had learned to recognize. When I am working on a new venture, when I am solving a complex problem, I feel a fire in my chest, a burning that starts here. He placed his hand over his heart and spreads through my entire being. It is the same fire that once drove me to pursue my dear wife, but now it drives me to pursue excellence in business. This revelation led me to a deeper investigation. I began to notice that the most successful individuals I studied, the Carnegies, the Edisons, the Fords, all possessed this ability to channel their most powerful emotions toward their work. They had discovered, whether consciously or unconsciously, the secret of sex transmutation. What made this discovery even more remarkable was the consistency with which it appeared across all fields of human endeavor. Artists like Beethoven and Michelangelo, who remained unmarried during their most productive periods, channeled their passionate natures into compositions and sculptures that continue to move humanity centuries later. Military leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte drew upon this same energy to fuel their strategic brilliance and inspire their troops to extraordinary feats of courage and endurance. Inventors like Nikola Tesla consciously chose to redirect their romantic energies into their creative work, producing innovations that transformed human civilization. But perhaps the most striking example came from my interview with Luther Burbank, the great botanist who developed hundreds of new plant varieties. When I work with plants, he told me, I feel connected to the same force that creates new life. My botanical work is not separate from the creative impulse. It is an expression of it. I have learned to channel the same energy that others express in romantic relationships into my relationship with nature, and the results speak for themselves. This understanding began to reveal to me the true nature of genius itself. I realized that what we call genius is not some mystical gift bestowed upon a chosen few, but rather the result of learning to consciously direct the most powerful energy available to human beings toward creative expression. Every person possesses this energy, but few learn to harness it effectively. Most allow it to dissipate in temporary pleasures and immediate gratifications, never realizing that they are squandering the very force that could elevate them to greatness. The scientific basis for this principle became clearer as I studied the physiological aspects of human energy. The same glandular system that produces sexual energy also influences creativity, ambition, and the drive for achievement. When this energy is consciously directed toward creative goals, it actually enhances mental clarity, increases physical vitality, and expands imaginative capacity. This explained why individuals who practice transmutation consistently reported not only greater professional success, but also improved health, increased mental acuity, and a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in their lives. The mechanics and practical application of transmutation. Let me explain to you exactly how this process works, for it is far more scientific than mystical, far more practical than theoretical. The human mind operates through various forms of energy, but none is more powerful than the energy of sex emotion. This energy, when aroused and directed toward creative effort, becomes one of the most potent forces available to human beings. But, and this is crucial, this energy must be controlled and directed, not suppressed or denied. Think of it this way. A river flowing freely through the countryside provides little practical benefit. But dam that same river, channel its flow, and you can generate electricity to power entire cities. The energy of sex emotion operates according to the same principle. Left unchecked, it may provide momentary pleasure but little lasting achievement. Channeled and directed, it becomes the driving force behind history's greatest accomplishments. Through my extensive research, I have identified 3 ways in which this powerful energy can be constructively applied. First, the perpetuation of mankind. This is nature's primary intention for sex emotion, and it is both natural and necessary. Second, the maintenance of health through physical expression. Medical science has confirmed what ancient wisdom always knew, that the complete suppression of sex emotion can lead to physical and mental ailments. Third, the transformation of mediocrity into genius through transmutation. This, my friend, is where the magic happens. This is where ordinary individuals become extraordinary achievers. The practical application of this principle requires understanding what I call the mental chemistry of transmutation. This involves learning to blend the powerful emotion of sex with other constructive emotions, such as love for your work, faith in your ability to succeed, and burning desire for achievement. When these emotions are consciously combined while maintaining focus on your definite major purpose, they create a mental state that is incredibly attractive to success. Here is how this mental chemistry works in practice. Begin with your feeling of creative or sexual energy. Instead of allowing this energy to dissipate in fantasy or physical expression, hold it in your mind while simultaneously focusing on your definite major purpose. Now add the emotion of love, not merely romantic love, but love for your goal. Love for the service you will provide others through achieving your goal. Love for the growth and development that pursuing your goal will bring you. Next, add faith. Complete confidence that your goal is achievable and that you possess the ability to achieve it. Feel this faith blending with your creative energy and your love for your purpose. Finally, add enthusiasm, excitement about the journey toward your goal, anticipation of the satisfaction that achievement will bring, joy in the process of growth and development. When you can blend these emotions while maintaining focus on your definite major purpose, you create a mental state that Andrew Carnegie described to me as magnetic attraction to success. You literally become a magnet that attracts opportunities, resources, and people that support your major goal. This is not mysticism. It is the practical application of psychological principles that govern human behavior and achievement. The development of this ability requires consistent practice and conscious effort. You cannot expect to master transmutation overnight any more than you could expect to become a skilled musician or athlete without regular practice. But the rewards of developing this skill are so extraordinary that the effort required becomes insignificant in comparison. Let me share with you the daily routine that I developed based on my study of successful individuals who had mastered this principle. Upon awakening each morning, spend 30 minutes in what I call energy organization. Lie quietly and observe the energy levels in your body. Notice areas of creative or sexual energy. Instead of seeking immediate gratification of these energies, consciously direct them toward your heart center, then out toward your major goal. Visualize this energy empowering your goals and attracting the resources you need for achievement. End this session by writing in your journal 3 specific actions you will take that day to advance your major purpose, and commit to performing these actions with the energy you have just organized. Before beginning any important work period, take 5 minutes to consciously gather and direct your creative energy. Feel the same excitement about your work that you might feel about romantic adventure. If you notice your mind wandering toward unproductive thoughts during work periods, use this as a signal to refresh your energy focus. Take a brief break to redirect your attention and energy toward your productive activities. Before sleep each evening, spend 15 minutes reviewing your day. Notice how effectively you channeled your creative energy toward constructive goals. Identify areas for improvement and recommit to better energy management the following day. Use this time to visualize tomorrow's activities, seeing yourself channeling your energy effectively and achieving your daily objectives with ease and satisfaction. This routine may seem simple, but its consistent application will produce results that will amaze you. Within weeks, you will notice increased mental clarity, enhanced creative ability, greater physical energy, and a magnetic attraction to opportunities that support your goals. Within months, the transformation in your life may be so dramatic that others will barely recognize you. But remember, the key to success with this principle is consistency. You cannot practice transmutation sporadically and expect miraculous results. It must become a habit, a way of life, a fundamental part of your approach to achievement. The individuals who achieve lasting success through this principle are those who make it an integral part of their daily routine rather than an occasional exercise. Historical masters and the genius connection. During my research, I made a startling discovery that would revolutionize my understanding of human achievement. Nearly every person whom history remembers as a genius possessed a highly developed sex nature. But, and this is the key, they had learned to transmute this energy into creative expression. This connection between sexual energy and genius became one of the most important findings of my entire investigation into the principles of success. Napoleon Bonaparte, whose military genius changed the course of European history, was known for his passionate nature in all things. His letters reveal a man of intense emotional depth and powerful romantic feelings. Yet during his most brilliant military campaigns, he would often go months without intimate companionship, channeling that powerful energy into strategic planning and leadership. His ability to inspire troops, to see battlefield opportunities that others missed, to maintain unwavering focus under the most challenging conditions. All of these capabilities were enhanced by his unconscious practice of sex transmutation. During one of our conversations, a military historian who had studied Napoleon extensively told me it was as if Bonaparte possessed a magnetic force that attracted victory to him. His very presence on a battlefield changed the dynamics of the conflict. His soldiers would perform feats of courage and endurance that seemed impossible under any other leader. This magnetic force, this ability to inspire extraordinary performance in others, is one of the hallmarks of transmuted creative energy. Beethoven, whose musical compositions continue to move hearts centuries after his death, remained unmarried throughout most of his productive years. Yet his letters reveal a man of deep, passionate nature, passion that he poured into his immortal symphonies. The emotional intensity that characterizes his greatest works, the Ninth Symphony, the Emperor Concerto, the Appassionata Sonata, represents transmuted romantic energy expressed through musical genius. I had the privilege of speaking with several musicians who had made detailed studies of Beethoven's compositional process. They told me that his most powerful works were created during periods when he was experiencing intense romantic feelings, but was unable or unwilling to express them in personal relationships. Instead, he channeled this emotional energy into his music, creating compositions that express the full spectrum of human passion in elevated, refined form. Shakespeare, whose literary genius remains unmatched, drew upon the full spectrum of human emotion in his works, yet historical evidence suggests that he channeled much of his own romantic energy into his creative expression rather than personal relationships. The passion that flows through Romeo and Juliet, the complex emotional dynamics of his sonnets, the profound understanding of human nature that characterizes all his works, these represent the flowering of transmuted creative energy. One of the most remarkable examples from my research was Leonardo da Vinci, who remains history's greatest example of creative genius. His notebooks reveal a man who understood the connection between sexual energy and creative power with scientific precision. He remained unmarried and channeled his powerful emotional nature into his art, his inventions, and his scientific investigations. Da Vinci wrote, "The act of procreation and the members employed therein are so repulsive that, if it were not for the beauty of faces and the liberation of the spirit, nature would lose the human species." This statement reveals his conscious choice to channel creative energy into artistic rather than physical expression. But perhaps the most instructive example for modern students of success is Nikola Tesla, the great inventor whose innovations in electrical engineering transformed human civilization. Tesla told me personally that he had made a conscious decision early in life to channel his emotional energy into his scientific work. "I have been married to my laboratory," he said with a smile that revealed deep satisfaction. "My inventions are my children, and my discoveries are the fruit of our union." Tesla's ability to visualize complex electrical systems in his mind, to work 18 to 20 hours a day with tireless enthusiasm, to maintain unwavering focus on seemingly impossible problems until he found solutions. All of these capabilities were powered by consciously transmuted creative energy. He found in his scientific investigations the same satisfaction that others sought in romantic relationships, and the results speak for themselves in the form of innovations that continue to benefit humanity more than a century after his death. George Washington Carver, the great agricultural scientist, shared with me his personal philosophy of creative energy during our interview. "When I work with plants," he said, "when I am discovering new uses for common crops, I feel connected to the same force that creates new life. My research is not separate from the creative impulse. It is an expression of it. I have learned to find in my scientific work the same joy and satisfaction that others find in romantic love." Carver's revolutionary work with peanuts, sweet potatoes, and other crops, work that transformed Southern agriculture and helped thousands of farmers improve their economic circumstances, was powered by transmuted creative energy. He approached his research with the same passionate intensity that characterizes romantic love, and this energy enabled him to see possibilities that escaped other scientists. What made these examples even more remarkable was that in every case, the individual had discovered the principle of transmutation through personal experience rather than formal instruction. They had intuitively understood that their most powerful energy could be consciously directed toward creative goals, and they had developed personal methods for accomplishing this redirection. This discovery led me to understand that sex transmutation is not an artificial technique imposed upon natural human energy, but rather the conscious application of a principle that operates naturally in all highly creative individuals. The difference between genius and mediocrity is not the presence or absence of creative energy. Every human being possesses this energy. The difference lies in learning to direct this energy consciously and constructively, rather than allowing it to dissipate in temporary pleasures and immediate gratifications. The evidence from my research was overwhelming. Every individual who had achieved extraordinary results in any field had learned, either consciously or unconsciously, to harness their most powerful emotions and direct them toward their work. They had discovered that the same energy that drives romantic pursuit could be applied to professional pursuit with even more satisfying and lasting results. Business mastery and leadership through transmuted energy. For those of you who are entrepreneurs or business professionals, let me explain specifically how sex transmutation applies to commercial success and leadership development. The most successful business leaders I studied had learned to fall in love with their work. They approached their businesses with the same passion, the same obsessive attention, the same driving desire that characterizes romantic love. This was not mere metaphor. It was literal truth that I observed consistently across all industries and all types of business endeavor. Henry Ford told me that he thought about his automobiles with the same intensity that other men thought about women. When I am designing a new car, he said, I can see it, feel it, hear it running. It becomes more real to me than the physical world around me. I dream about improvements. I wake up with solutions to manufacturing problems. I find myself sketching designs during conversations about completely different topics. This passionate focus, this transmutation of romantic energy into business energy, was the secret behind Ford's revolutionary achievements in automobile manufacturing. Ford's ability to envision mass production methods that reduce the cost of automobiles while improving their quality, his capacity to inspire workers to achieve unprecedented levels of productivity, his magnetic attraction to the financial resources necessary to build his empire, all of these capabilities were enhanced by his practice of sex transmutation. He had learned to channel the same energy that drives romantic pursuit into the pursuit of business excellence. J.P. Morgan approached financial deals with what could only be described as romantic passion. He would study potential investments with the same careful attention that a suitor pays to his beloved, analyzing every detail, considering every possibility, becoming completely absorbed in the process of evaluation and decision-making. This transmuted energy gave him insights into market opportunities that others missed entirely, enabling him to build one of the most powerful financial empires in American history. During our interview, Morgan explained his approach to business in terms that revealed his understanding of transmutation principles, even though he did not use that terminology. When I am considering a major investment, he said, I become completely consumed by the analysis. I think about it constantly. I research every aspect. I discuss it with my associates until we have examined every possible angle. By the time I make the decision, I know that investment better than I know my own family. That depth of knowledge, that complete understanding, gives me confidence that my decisions will be profitable. Andrew Carnegie built his steel empire through the conscious application of transmuted energy, though he described it in different terms. He spoke of falling in love with the steel business, of becoming obsessed with finding better methods of production, of courting potential customers with the same persistence that a young man courts his sweetheart. This passion, this transmuted romantic energy, enabled Carnegie to see opportunities in the steel industry that others overlooked, and to pursue those opportunities with tireless determination. Carnegie's ability to inspire his workers to extraordinary levels of productivity, to attract the financial backing necessary for expansion, to maintain unwavering focus on long-term goals despite short-term setbacks, all of these leadership capabilities were powered by consciously directed creative energy. He had learned that the same force that drives romantic pursuit could be applied to business pursuit with even more satisfying results. But the business application of sex transmutation extends far beyond individual achievement to encompass the development of what I call magnetic leadership, the ability to inspire and influence others through the force of directed energy. When a leader has learned to channel creative energy toward worthy business goals, that energy becomes contagious. Employees, customers, investors, and business partners are naturally attracted to leaders who possess this focused passion. This principle explains why some business leaders seem to effortlessly attract support, while others struggle to gain cooperation despite superior technical skills or business knowledge. The difference lies not in competence, but in the magnetic quality that results from transmuted creative energy. People are naturally drawn to individuals who demonstrate passionate commitment to worthy goals, and they instinctively want to participate in endeavors led by such individuals. The practical application of this principle in business requires developing what I call constructive obsession with your business goals. This means thinking about your business with the same frequency and intensity that characterizes romantic love. It means finding genuine excitement in solving business problems, serving customers, developing new products or services, and building organizational capability. For entrepreneurs, this translates into falling in love with your business idea rather than merely seeing it as a means to financial gain. When you approach your venture with genuine passion, when you become genuinely excited about the value you are creating for others, when you think about your business constantly and look for ways to improve it continuously, you tap into the same energy that has powered every great business success in history. For sales professionals, sex transmutation means developing genuine enthusiasm for your products or services and for the benefits they provide to customers. The greatest salespeople I studied had learned to channel their persuasive energy into service rather than manipulation. They approached each sales opportunity with the same careful attention and genuine interest that characterizes courtship, and their sincerity became irresistibly attractive to prospects. For managers and executives, the principle applies to developing passionate commitment to the success and development of team members. When you channel your leadership energy into genuinely caring about the growth and achievement of others, when you become as excited about their success as you might be about romantic conquest, you develop the magnetic leadership quality that inspires extraordinary performance in others. The key to business application of sex transmutation is understanding that commercial success is fundamentally about creating value for others, and value creation requires the same passionate commitment, the same sustained attention, the same creative energy that characterizes all forms of love. When you learn to love your work in the truest sense, to find genuine satisfaction in serving others through your business activities, you tap into an inexhaustible source of energy and inspiration that will carry you to levels of success that mere technique and strategy alone could never achieve. The complete system: daily practice and life transformation. Now, my friend, let me provide you with a comprehensive system for developing and maintaining your practice of sex transmutation. This is not theory. This is practical application based on the methods used by history's most successful individuals, refined through years of testing and proven effective by countless students who have applied these principles in their own lives. The successful practice of sex transmutation requires what I call energy organization, the conscious direction of your most powerful forces toward your most important goals. This process begins with developing awareness of your energy patterns, progresses through conscious redirection of that energy, and culminates in sustained focus that becomes automatic and natural. The foundation: energy awareness development. Before you can consciously direct your creative energy, you must first become aware of its presence and patterns in your life. Most people go through their days completely unconscious of the powerful forces flowing through them, allowing this energy to dissipate randomly without ever realizing its potential for constructive application. Begin by dedicating 1 week to pure observation. Each morning upon awakening, lie quietly for 10 minutes and notice the energy levels in your body. Pay particular attention to areas where you feel creative or sexual energy arising. Do not try to control or direct this energy yet, simply observe it. Notice what triggers these energy surges throughout the day. Is it certain times, certain situations, certain thoughts or images? Keep a journal of these observations, noting patterns and triggers without judgment. This awareness phase is crucial because you cannot direct what you do not recognize. Many people fail in their attempts at transmutation because they try to apply techniques without first understanding their own energy patterns. Take the time to truly understand how creative energy manifests in your particular case, and you will find the subsequent phases much more effective. During this observation week, also notice how you currently use or dissipate this energy. Do you find yourself daydreaming about romantic situations when you should be focusing on work? Do you seek immediate physical gratification whenever creative energy arises? Do you allow this powerful force to scatter in various directions without conscious purpose? This honest self-assessment will show you exactly where improvements can be made. The development, conscious redirection techniques. Once you have developed awareness of your energy patterns, begin practicing conscious redirection. When you notice sexual or romantic thoughts arising, this becomes your signal to immediately shift your attention to your definite major purpose. But this shift must be more than merely changing the subject of your thoughts. You must actually transfer the emotional energy from the romantic thoughts to your goal-focused thoughts. Here is the specific technique that is proven most effective. When you feel the stirring of creative or sexual energy, pause and take 3 deep breaths. On the first breath, acknowledge the energy without resistance or judgment. On the second breath, visualize this energy as a golden light flowing from wherever you feel it in your body toward your heart center. On the third breath, see this energy flowing from your heart out toward your major goal, empowering and energizing your objectives. Now spend at least 5 minutes focusing on your definite major purpose with the same intensity that you felt toward the romantic thoughts. Visualize your goal is already achieved. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the sense of accomplishment that success will bring. Make this visualization as vivid and emotionally compelling as possible, using the energy that was generated by the romantic thoughts to fuel your goal-focused thinking. The key to success with this technique is immediate application. You cannot allow romantic thoughts to build momentum before attempting redirection. The longer you dwell on such thoughts, the more difficult redirection becomes. Practice responding immediately when you notice these thoughts arising, and the redirection will become increasingly automatic. It is also important to understand that this redirection is not suppression. You are not trying to eliminate natural desires or pretend they do not exist. Instead, you are consciously choosing to use the energy they generate for constructive purposes rather than allowing it to dissipate in temporary fantasies or immediate gratifications. The mastery, sustained focus, and habit formation. The ultimate goal of sex transmutation is to reach a state where the conscious direction of creative energy becomes natural and automatic. This requires developing what I call constructive mental habits, patterns of thinking that automatically channel your most powerful energies toward your most important goals. Establish specific periods each day dedicated to intense focus on your major goal, using transmuted energy as your fuel. Begin with 30-minute periods of concentrated work on your most important project. During these periods, consciously draw upon your creative energy. Feel the same excitement about your work that you might feel about romantic adventure. Let this energy drive your efforts and enhance your creativity. Before beginning each focused work period, take 5 minutes to gather and organize your energy. Use the breathing and visualization technique described above to consciously direct your creative force toward your objectives. If you notice your mind wandering during work periods, use this as a signal to refresh your energy focus rather than fighting the distraction directly. The development of sustained focus requires consistency over time. You cannot practice this sporadically and expect lasting results. Make energy organization and conscious redirection part of your daily routine, as natural and automatic as brushing your teeth or eating meals. The individuals who achieve mastery in this area are those who practice these techniques consistently for months and years, gradually building mental habits that support their goals rather than undermining them. As you develop proficiency in basic transmutation, you can begin practicing what I call advanced mental chemistry, the conscious blending of different emotions to create mental states that are powerfully attractive to success. This involves combining the energy of sex emotion with other powerful emotions such as love, faith, enthusiasm, and burning desire for achievement. Begin by mastering the basic transmutation of sexual energy into goal-focused energy. Once this becomes natural and automatic, begin adding other emotions to the mix. After redirecting creative energy toward your goals, consciously add the emotion of love for your work, love for the service you provide others, love for the growth and development that pursuing your goals brings you. Next, add faith. Mentuti can faulty confidence that your goals are achievable and that you possess the ability to achieve them. Feel this faith blending with your creative energy and your love for your purpose. Then add enthusiasm, excitement about your journey toward your goals, anticipation of the satisfaction that achievement will bring, joy in the process of growth and development. When you can maintain this blended emotional state while focusing on your definite major purpose, you create what successful individuals throughout history have described as an almost irresistible magnetic force that attracts opportunities, resources, and people that support your objectives. The integration, lifestyle, and relationship consideration one of the most important aspects of sex transmutation involves integrating these practices into your overall lifestyle and relationships. Many people worry that practicing transmutation will somehow diminish their capacity for romantic relationships or physical intimacy. This concern is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how transmutation actually works. Sex transmutation does not require celibacy or the suppression of natural desires. What it requires is conscious choice about how and when to express creative energy. For married individuals, transmutation involves channeling excess creative energy beyond what is naturally expressed in the marriage relationship, toward constructive goals. It also involves bringing the same passionate intensity to your work that you bring to your marriage. Many of the most successful married individuals I studied had learned to share their enthusiasm for their work with their spouses. Their marriages actually enhanced their ability to practice transmutation because they had supportive partners who understood and encouraged their goals. John D. Rockefeller Jr. often spoke of how his wife's support enabled him to channel his energies more effectively toward his philanthropic work. She understood that his passionate dedication to helping others was an expression of the same creative energy that strengthened their marriage. For unmarried individuals, transmutation involves making conscious choices about romantic relationships and sexual expression. This does not mean avoiding relationships entirely, but rather ensuring that your relationships support rather than undermine your major goals. It means choosing partners who understand and support your ambitions rather than those who would drain your energy or distract you from your purpose. The key principle is balance and conscious choice rather than unconscious dissipation of energy. Whether married or single, the goal is to ensure that your most powerful energies are directed toward constructive purposes rather than being scattered or wasted in activities that bring no lasting value to your life or to others. I learned this principle through careful observation of both successful and unsuccessful individuals. Those who achieved lasting success had learned to make conscious choices about how they expressed their creative energy. They understood that this energy is finite and precious, and they refused to waste it in activities that did not contribute to their major goals. Those who remained trapped in mediocrity, on the other hand, typically allowed their creative energy to dissipate randomly in whatever activities provided immediate pleasure or temporary escape from their problems. They never learned that the same energy they were wasting could be harnessed and directed toward the achievement of their most cherished dreams. The transformation and your path to mastery. As we approach the culmination of our exploration into sex transmutation, I want you to understand the profound transformation that awaits those who master this principle. This is not merely about improving your productivity or achieving better results in your current endeavors. Sex transmutation represents a complete evolution of consciousness, a fundamental shift from unconscious dissipation of life force to conscious direction of that force toward worthy achievement. When you begin consistently applying these principles, you will experience changes so dramatic that others will barely recognize you. Your energy levels will soar beyond anything you have previously experienced. Your mental clarity will sharpen to a degree that makes complex problems seem simple. Your creative abilities will expand in ways that surprise even yourself. Your magnetic attraction to success will increase so dramatically that opportunities will seem to seek you out rather than requiring your pursuit. But perhaps most importantly, you will experience an internal transformation, a deep sense of purpose and meaning that comes from knowing you are using your life force for worthy achievement rather than temporary pleasure. You will join the ranks of those who have discovered the secret of turning desire into productivity, passion into power, creative energy into lasting achievement. You will become living proof that human beings can consciously direct their most powerful energies toward the creation of value and the achievement of worthy goals. The compound effect of this transformation extends far beyond personal achievement. As you master sex transmutation and begin achieving extraordinary results, your influence will extend to everyone around you. You become an example and inspiration to others, demonstrating what is possible when creative energy is consciously directed toward worthy goals. Your success creates a ripple effect that touches the lives of family members, friends, colleagues, and even strangers who witness your achievements and are inspired to examine their own potential. This ripple effect represents perhaps the greatest reward of mastering sex transmutation, the opportunity to contribute to human progress by showing others what they too can accomplish through proper application of their creative energy. When you achieve success through conscious direction of your life force, you prove that extraordinary achievement is not reserved for a chosen few, but is available to anyone willing to learn and apply these natural principles. The Daily Mastery System. Allow me to outline for you a complete daily system that incorporates all aspects of sex transmutation into a practical routine that you can begin implementing immediately. This system is based on the habits and practices of the most successful individuals I studied, refined through years of testing and proven effective by countless students. Morning Energy Organization 30s. Begin each day with what I call your energy organization ritual. Upon awakening before engaging with the outside world, spend this time consciously gathering and directing your creative energy toward your major goals. Lie quietly and observe the energy levels throughout your body. Notice areas where you feel creative or sexual energy and consciously direct this energy toward your heart center, then out toward your definite major purpose. Visualize your energy as a golden light flowing through your body, gathering power and intensity as it moves toward your goals. See this energy empowering your objectives, attracting the resources you need for achievement, and creating magnetic attraction to the opportunities that will advance your purpose. End this session by writing in your journal 3 specific actions you will take that day to advance your major purpose, and commit to performing these actions with the organized energy you have just directed. Focused work periods, multiple sessions throughout the day. Throughout your day, establish specific periods dedicated to intense focus on your most important work, using transmuted energy as your fuel. Before beginning each work session, take 5 minutes to consciously gather and direct your creative energy. Use the breathing and visualization techniques to redirect any romantic or sexual thoughts toward your professional objectives. During these work periods, maintain the same level of passionate intensity that characterizes romantic pursuit. Think about your work with the same frequency and depth that others think about romantic relationships. Let the energy of transmuted desire drive your efforts and enhance your creativity. If you notice your mind wandering toward unproductive thoughts, use this as a signal to refresh your energy focus rather than fighting the distraction directly. Evening integration and planning, 20-30 minutes. Before sleep each evening, spend time reviewing your day and planning for tomorrow. Notice how effectively you channeled your creative energy toward constructive goals throughout the day. Identify moments when you successfully redirected energy and moments when you allowed it to dissipate unproductively. Learn from both types of experiences without judgment and recommit to better energy management the following day. Use this time to visualize tomorrow's activities, seeing yourself channeling your energy effectively and achieving your daily objectives with ease and satisfaction. End with gratitude for the opportunity to consciously direct your life force toward worthy goals and with anticipation for the progress you will make in the coming day. Weekly and monthly assessment. Establish regular periods for assessing your progress in developing transmutation abilities. Weekly, review your journal entries to identify patterns and areas for improvement. Monthly, evaluate the results you are achieving in your major goals and connect these results to your practice of energy organization and conscious direction. This regular assessment allows you to refine your techniques, identify what works best for your particular situation, and maintain motivation by recognizing the progress you are making. Remember that mastering sex transmutation is like developing any other skill. It requires time, practice, and patience with yourself as you build new mental habits. The Mastermind Alliance Connection. One of the most powerful ways to accelerate your mastery of sex transmutation is through participation in what I call a Mastermind Alliance, a group of like-minded individuals who are also committed to applying these principles in their own lives. When 2 or more minds come together in harmony around definite purposes, they create a collective mental force that naturally supports the transmutation process. This mastermind energy creates an environment that elevates the thinking and desires of all participants, instead of being pulled down by the mediocre attitudes and dissipating activities that characterize most social interactions. You are lifted up by the collective aspiration and focused energy of individuals who share your commitment to achievement and growth. The practical benefits of mastermind participation extend beyond motivation and encouragement. When you regularly associate with others who are practicing conscious energy direction, you develop what I call transmutation modeling, the ability to observe and learn from how others successfully channel their creative energy. You also benefit from accountability, as group members naturally support each other in maintaining consistent practice of these principles. But perhaps most importantly, mastermind participation creates what I call compound magnetism, a collective attractive force that is greater than the sum of individual magnetic qualities. When multiple individuals who have learned to direct their creative energy toward worthy goals come together in harmony, they create opportunities and attract resources that none could access individually. Overcoming challenges and maintaining progress, no discussion of sex transmutation mastery would be complete without addressing the challenges you will inevitably face and providing you with strategies for overcoming them. Let me be completely honest with you. Developing the ability to consciously direct your most powerful energy is not easy. You are attempting to establish new mental habits while overcoming years or decades of unconscious energy dissipation. The challenge of immediate gratification, the most common challenge, is the temptation to seek immediate gratification of creative energy rather than directing it toward long-term goals. This challenge is particularly difficult in our modern world, where instant pleasure is readily available and constantly promoted through media and advertising. When you feel this temptation arising, remember that you are choosing between temporary pleasure and lasting achievement. The satisfaction that comes from immediate gratification lasts minutes or hours, while the satisfaction that comes from achievement lasts a lifetime and continues to grow as you recognize the positive impact of your accomplishments. Develop specific strategies for redirecting this temptation energy. Engage immediately in physical activity related to your goals. Work on your business plan, practice your art, study materials related to your profession, or exercise your body to support your overall energy and health. The key is to have predetermined activities that you can engage in immediately when temptation arises. The challenge of social pressure and misunderstanding. Unfortunately, most people will not understand what you are trying to accomplish through sex transmutation. They may criticize your dedication to your goals or pressure you to engage in activities that dissipate rather than channel your energy. This social pressure can be particularly challenging when it comes from family members or close friends who genuinely care about you but do not understand the principles you are applying. Develop the strength to resist these pressures while maintaining loving relationships with those who matter to you. Explain your goals and methods only to those who demonstrate genuine interest and understanding. With others, simply maintain your practice without feeling the need to justify or explain your choices. Remember that you are pursuing a path followed by history's greatest achievers, and this path has never been popular with the masses. The very fact that these principles are not widely understood or practiced is part of what makes them so powerful for those who do apply them consistently. The challenge of doubt and discouragement. There will be times when you doubt whether these principles actually work, particularly when results do not appear as quickly as you might wish. This doubt often arises during what I call incubation periods, times when you are applying the principles consistently, but visible results have not yet manifested. During these periods, return to studying the examples of successful individuals who have applied transmutation principles. Remind yourself that every great achievement requires time to develop, and that the most important changes are often happening below the surface before they become visible in external results. Maintain faith in the process by focusing on the internal changes you are experiencing. Increased energy, enhanced mental clarity, greater sense of purpose, improved ability to concentrate. These internal changes are preparing you for external achievements that will manifest when the time is right. The spiritual dimension and universal connection. As you advance in your practice of sex transmutation, you will likely experience what I can only describe as a spiritual awakening. You will begin to understand that you are not merely redirecting personal energy, you are connecting with the creative force that powers the entire universe. This realization brings with it a sense of purpose and meaning that transcends personal achievement. The creative energy within you is the same energy that drives all of creation. When you learn to consciously direct this energy toward worthy goals, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe. You become a co-creator rather than merely a consumer, an active participant in the ongoing process of universal development and progress. This understanding elevates sex transmutation from a mere success technique to a spiritual discipline. You are not simply redirecting energy for personal gain, you are consciously participating in the creative process of the universe. Your goals become expressions of universal creativity working through you, and your achievements contribute to the overall advancement of human civilization. Many of the individuals I studied reported that their practice of transmutation led them to a deeper understanding of their place in the universal scheme. They began to see themselves as instruments through which creative intelligence could express itself in the world. This perspective brought them not only greater success, but also deeper satisfaction and sense of meaning in their lives. The legacy you create, when you master sex transmutation and begin achieving extraordinary results, your success becomes more than personal achievement. It becomes a legacy that inspires and enables others to discover their own potential. Your example demonstrates that ordinary individuals can achieve extraordinary results through the conscious application of natural principles. This legacy aspect of transmutation mastery is perhaps its most rewarding dimension. When others see what you have accomplished through conscious direction of your creative energy, they begin to examine their own energy patterns and consider what they too might achieve if they learn to harness their most powerful forces more effectively. Your transformation becomes a beacon of hope for those who have been trapped in mediocrity, wondering if there is a way to break free from ordinary limitations and achieve something truly significant with their lives. Through your example, you prove that human potential is far greater than most people ever imagine, and that this potential can be realized through the application of principles that are available to everyone. The call to extraordinary achievement. My friend, as we reach the culmination of our exploration into the mystery of sex transmutation, I want you to understand that you now possess knowledge that has the power to transform your life completely. But knowledge without application is worthless. You must act. You must begin immediately to apply these principles in your daily life, starting with the very next decision you make about how to use your creative energy. The choice before you is the same choice that has faced every human being throughout history. Will you allow your creative energy to dissipate in temporary pleasures and immediate gratifications, or will you harness this mighty force and direct it toward the achievement of worthy goals? Will you remain among the masses who unconsciously waste their most powerful resource, or will you join the ranks of those who have learned to consciously direct their life force toward extraordinary achievement? The individuals who choose the path of transmutation join the company of history's greatest achievers. They become co-creators with the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. They leave behind legacies that inspire and benefit humanity for generations. Those who choose the path of dissipation may experience momentary pleasures, but they remain forever trapped in mediocrity, wondering why others seem to possess some secret power that enables them to achieve extraordinary results. The secret is no longer hidden from you. You now understand what separates the achievers from the dreamers, the successful from the unsuccessful, the great from the mediocre. The only question that remains is, what will you choose to do with this knowledge? Andrew Carnegie's final wisdom and the power of immediate action. As I conclude this comprehensive exploration of sex transmutation, I am reminded of Andrew Carnegie's words to me on the final day of our interviews. He placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "Napoleon, I have shared with you the principles that built my fortune and the fortunes of my associates. But principles without action are like seeds without soil. They contain the potential for great harvest, but that potential will never be realized unless they are planted and cultivated." He continued, "The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not intelligence, not education, not opportunity. It is the willingness to take the principles they have learned and apply them consistently until they become habitual ways of thinking and acting. Most people will read about these principles, become excited about their possibilities, and then do nothing to implement them in their lives. Don't be one of those people." Carnegie's wisdom points to the fundamental truth about all success principles, but particularly about sex transmutation. The power lies not in understanding, but in application. You can read about these principles, discuss them with others, even teach them to friends and family, but none of that activity will change your life. Only consistent, persistent application of these principles in your daily routine will produce the transformation you seek. The principles I have shared with you today have the power to transform your life completely, but only if you begin applying them immediately. Do not make the tragic mistake of thinking that you will begin tomorrow, or next week, or when conditions are more favorable. Tomorrow never comes for those who always postpone action. Next week becomes next month, then next year, then never. Favorable conditions are created by those who act in spite of unfavorable conditions, not by those who wait for perfection. Your creative energy is flowing through you right now, at this very moment. You can choose to dissipate it in idle fantasy and immediate gratification, or you can begin immediately to channel it toward your definite major purpose. The choice you make in the next few minutes will set the trajectory for your entire future. The community of achievers and your support system. You are not alone in this journey toward mastery of sex transmutation. Throughout history, countless individuals have walked this path before you, and many are walking it now. You are joining a community of achievers who understand that true success requires the conscious direction of life's most powerful energies toward worthy goals. When you subscribe to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys, you connect with others who are committed to applying these timeless principles in their own lives. You become part of a Mastermind Alliance that supports and encourages your growth toward your highest potential. This community provides accountability, inspiration, and practical guidance as you develop your ability to harness and direct your creative energy. Hit that subscribe button now and ring the notification bell so you never miss the wisdom that can accelerate your transformation. Each lesson builds upon the previous one, creating a complete system for achieving extraordinary success through the application of proven principles. The community that forms around these teachings becomes a powerful force for mutual support and encouragement. But subscription alone is not enough. You must also commit to excellence in the application of these principles. This means studying each lesson carefully, practicing the techniques consistently, and refusing to accept mediocrity in any area of your life. Excellence is not a destination. It is a way of traveling. It is the decision to give your best effort to everything you do, to continuously improve your skills and abilities, and to never settle for less than your highest potential. The question that transforms your life. Now I want to ask you a question that goes to the very heart of your existence, a question that demands deep, honest self-examination and specific commitment to action. What is the one specific area of your life where you currently allow your creative energy to dissipate in unproductive activities or immediate gratifications? And what specific action will you take in the next 24 hours to begin channeling that energy toward your most important goal? This is not a question that can be answered with casual thought. It requires you to look at your current habits and behaviors with complete honesty and identify the specific ways in which you are wasting your most precious resource, your creative life force. But more than identification, this question demands commitment to specific action. It is not enough to recognize where you are dissipating energy. You must commit to specific steps that will redirect that energy toward constructive purposes. Perhaps you currently spend hours each day in romantic fantasies or sexual thoughts that lead nowhere productive. Your specific action might be to redirect that mental energy toward visualizing and planning your business success, spending the same amount of time and emotional intensity on your professional goals that you currently spend on unproductive romantic thinking. Perhaps you dissipate creative energy in casual sexual encounters or romantic relationships that drain your vitality without contributing to your major purpose. Your specific action might be to commit to a period of conscious celibacy while you build the foundation for your major goals, or to evaluate your current relationships and make changes that support rather than undermine your ambitions. Perhaps you waste creative energy in entertainment, social media, or other activities that provide temporary pleasure but no lasting value. Your specific action might be to replace these activities with focused work on your major purpose, channeling the time and energy you currently spend in entertainment toward activities that advance your most important goals. Whatever your specific situation, the key is to identify one concrete area where you can immediately begin redirecting creative energy toward constructive purposes and to commit to taking specific action within the next 24 hours. This commitment transforms vague intentions into concrete reality and begins the process of developing new mental habits that support rather than undermine your success. Your response and the power of community. I want you to answer this question in the comments below this video. Share with the community the specific area where you will begin applying sex transmutation and the exact action you will take in the next 24 hours to begin this transformation. Your response serves multiple crucial purposes. It creates accountability for your commitment, making it more likely that you will follow through on your intentions. It inspires others who may be struggling with similar challenges, showing them that they are not alone in their efforts to redirect creative energy toward constructive purposes. It contributes to the collective wisdom of our mastermind community as others learn from your insights and experiences. But most importantly, the act of writing your commitment makes it real. It transforms a vague intention into a specific plan of action. When you publicly commit to taking specific steps toward applying these principles, you engage psychological forces that will support your efforts and help ensure your success. Read through the comments of others who have made similar commitments. Learn from their experiences, offer encouragement and support, and draw inspiration from their examples. This community interaction amplifies the power of individual effort and creates a collective force that supports everyone's growth and development. The sharing imperative and expanding impact. If this exploration of sex transmutation has opened your eyes to possibilities you had not previously considered, if it has shown you a path toward greater achievement and fulfillment, then you have a responsibility to share this knowledge with others who could benefit from it. Think of someone in your life, a family member, a friend, a colleague, who is currently struggling to achieve their goals, who seems to lack the energy and focus necessary for significant achievement. Share this video with them. Give them the gift of understanding that could transform their life as it is transforming yours. Knowledge hoarded becomes worthless. Knowledge shared multiplies in value and creates positive change that extends far beyond your personal circle. When you share these principles with others, you contribute to a ripple effect of positive transformation that can touch countless lives and contribute to the overall advancement of human civilization. But share wisely. Present these concepts to those who demonstrate genuine interest in personal growth and achievement. Some people are not ready to hear these truths, and attempting to force understanding on unwilling minds often creates resistance and resentment. Share with those who are seeking answers, who are genuinely committed to improving their lives, who will value and apply the knowledge you provide. The final challenge and your moment of decision. As we conclude this comprehensive exploration of sex transmutation, I leave you with the same challenge that Andrew Carnegie left with me when he first introduced me to these life-changing principles. Will you join the ranks of those who have learned to harness their most powerful energies in service of worthy goals, or will you remain among the masses who dissipate their creative force in temporary pleasures and immediate gratifications? Will you become a conscious director of your life force, or will you allow that force to flow without purpose or direction? Will you choose the path of greatness that requires discipline, sacrifice, and sustained effort, or will you choose the path of mediocrity that demands nothing but offers nothing in return? This choice cannot be postponed. This choice cannot be delegated to others. This choice must be made by you, and you must make it not once, but every day, every hour, every moment that you feel the stirring of creative energy within you. The choice you make in the next few minutes will determine whether you begin a journey toward extraordinary achievement or continue down the path of ordinary existence. There is no middle ground. You will either harness your creative energy or waste it. You will either direct it toward worthy goals or allow it to dissipate in unproductive activities. The eternal truth and your unlimited potential. Remember this eternal truth as you embark upon your journey of transmutation. The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge and continuous application of that knowledge in constructive action. You now possess knowledge that has the power to transform your life completely. But that knowledge will remain dormant until you begin applying it consistently and persistently in your daily activities. The universe is waiting to support your worthy endeavors. Infinite intelligence stands ready to guide your efforts toward success. The creative forces that govern all achievement are prepared to work through you to accomplish goals that may seem impossible from your current perspective. But these mighty forces can only assist those who demonstrate through their actions that they are serious about achieving something significant with their lives. Your potential is unlimited. The same creative energy that has powered every great achievement in human history flows through you at this very moment. The same force that enabled Edison to illuminate the world, that empowered Ford to revolutionize transportation, that inspired Carnegie to build industrial empires, that same force is available to you for the achievement of your own worthy goals. The only limitations on your achievement are those you accept in your own mind. The only obstacles to your success are those you allow to remain in your path. The only barriers to your greatness are those you refuse to overcome through the application of conscious effort and directed energy. Begin today. Begin now. Begin with the next decision you make about how to use your creative energy. Let that decision be the first step on your journey toward joining the ranks of history's greatest achievers. Your time is now. Your opportunity is here. Your potential awaits your decision to claim it. The answer to the question of what you will do with the power that flows through you will determine not only your own destiny, but the impact you will have on countless other lives that you have the opportunity to touch and inspire through your example. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose now. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, when that conception is backed by the burning desire created through sex transmutation and directed toward a definite major purpose. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey into one of the most powerful principles of human achievement. Subscribe to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys, ring that notification bell, share this wisdom with those who need it, answer the transformative question in the comments below, and begin immediately to apply these principles in your own life. Your extraordinary future awaits your decision to claim it through the conscious direction of your most powerful energy toward your most worthy goals.